Xiaomi just announced this phone a couple of weeks ago, and I've been using it off and on for the last few weeks, and I think I finally figured out why I enjoy using this phone so much for content creation. Now, before we move on to my overall experience with this phone and its camera hardware, let's quickly go over its specs. The Mi 11 is using Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 processor with the Adreno 660 GPU. There's also 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs or 256 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage, a 4600 mAh battery, which is about 400 mAh less than the Mi 10T Pro, a triple camera setup with a 108 megapixel main camera, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel tele macro sensor, which is a really interesting sensor that I didn't really use all that often because of how good the main sensor is. But probably the best part about the Mi 11 in my opinion is the fact that you can now charge this phone wirelessly up to 50 watts, which is insanely quick. So the display itself is a 6.81 WQHD display, which features a 120Hz refresh rate, but with a 480Hz touch sampling rate, which is super helpful if you're an avid mobile gamer. This is the first phone that I've used with a 480Hz touch sampling rate, and the phone does seem snappier. There aren't any noticeable input lag when tapping different parts of the screen, so the overall experience is pretty smooth, and like I said, if you play a ton of games on your phone, you're definitely going to enjoy using this phone for gaming. The display itself also gets relatively bright, up to 1000 nits, which is pretty impressive, and the colors looks really vibrant and super punchy, which probably won't result in the most accurate display, but it does look good when watching videos or playing games. Now, when it comes to its battery life, the 4600 mAh battery is really solid. With a WQHD display, I was able to get around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time, which in my opinion is decent, but given you have a high-res display with a fast refresh rate, that honestly seems to be the norm. Now, when it comes to charging, you can obviously plug this in, but I've been using Nomad's wireless charger and or the OnePlus 8 Pro's wireless charger, which can output up to 30 watts of power. Finally, having wireless charging in a flagship Xiaomi device is just really nice and convenient, and I'm really glad that it's on this phone so that there's now another way to charge the phone besides plugging it in. Now, when it comes to its performance and day-to-day usage, it's just like any other modern flagship smartphone in 2021. The Snapdragon 888 processor, like I said in my S21 Ultra video, is just super fast. It's snappy, there's no noticeable lag when switching between apps or running high-intensive games. It's a true flagship that performs really well in 2021. You're not going to be disappointed with this phone. Alright, let's talk about its cameras. The triple camera setup on the back are really impressive in my opinion. This year, Xiaomi really wanted to focus on video first versus photos. They even sent out some cool knickknacks along with this phone to really show that they're serious about video. So on the camera app, there's now a movie effects tab, which basically brings up a bunch of video effects that basically helps you film unique clips straight from your smartphone. Now, my favorite filters are the magic zoom effect, which gives your footage a neat vertigo effect, and then there's parallel world, which gives you this cool Inception mirror-like effect. Basically, it'll do all the effects in real time while you're framing your shot and when you're shooting. And then you can preview the clips right away in your gallery after you're done recording. And the samples out of the phone are pretty incredible, as you see from this video. Now, you can also shoot in regular 4K or 8K at 30 frames if you'd like, and they look really good too. It's super sharp, contrasty, and sometimes maybe a little too vibrant, but it's probably one of the better video cameras I've used out of all the Android phones I've tested in the last year or so, and I've tested quite a bit. Now, when it comes to its photos, I don't really know what other words to say other than it looks incredible. I think the photos that you can get out of the Mi 11 look somewhat identical to Samsung's S21 Ultra. It's really sharp with good color accuracy, and the built-in AI and HDR modes really help refine the photos more with the right amount of sharpness and saturation after it processes your images. Now, the 108 megapixel photo doesn't look all that different from the main auto mode. You can zoom in just a little bit more versus the normal photo mode, but once you start reframing and cropping your shots, the photos will look a little bit more grainy and muddy, which doesn't look as pleasing as the original shot. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about Xiaomi's Mi 11. For around $800 in the US, it's a pretty strong competitor that can very well compete with Samsung's newest flagships. It has great battery life, the WQHD 120Hz display is amazing and feels faster than most flagships I've checked out in the past, and the video capabilities on this phone is something I just can't stop raving about. You'll just have to use it for yourself to really understand how fun it is to shoot videos with this smartphone. Now, there are rumors already popping up about a Mi 11 Pro or Mi 11 Ultra coming out very soon, so before you decide to buy this phone, you may want to wait just a little longer for that to be announced, because that'll definitely be way better than this and may pack more features for around the same price. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure to go hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.